Hello. Today's episode is a conversation with a friend of mine who just released an album. His name is Shih-Wei Carrasco-Wu, and his band is Red Eye to Tokyo, and their album is called Friends I've Just Met. You can get your copy now by supporting him on his GoFundMe, and it will be available in January, streaming on Spotify and other streaming services. As you can see, I already got my copy, so go and get yours. Also, before we begin, if you could remember to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe below. And if you like my content generally, please consider visiting my Patreon page.
Welcome to Music in Mind with Anthony Caulkins.
Cheers.
So Anthony has gone bionic now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you have talked about what happened to you yet.
No, I haven't talked about it. I don't know if everybody can see it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought
my hand.
it's so tough being a musician and then you're worried about your health at the same time. I felt I know we're supposed to talk about something else, but I just jump into this weird
that's
segue.
okay. That's good. That's good.
I don't know about you, but I remember health always has been one of those things like has never been talked about in my lessons. When I was
it's important.
Trying to become a good bassoonist a whole lifelong time ago when I was prepping for college audition and shit like that.
Yeah.
I remember I always get super sick around this time. And January is the audition time for every single orchestra.
Yeah.
Right? And this is, of course, the time where, like, you catch the latest code in your fashion. So, and then this is also the time we start doing a lot of our band parades. And then we do our, field shows during this time.
Sure.
So, of course, this is the time I get super sick.
Right.
And
of course.
Mid-January, late February, early February is all the college auditions.
Yeah.
And I just remember I get super, I have a coughing fit, I lose my voice because I was playing the bassoon, I have so much back pressure. And then my arm, I would get, actually not so much my arm is new. This is like a new thing.
Are you having problems with your arm?
I'm having like a sort of weird tendonitis thing that go all the way down to my arms.
Oh, wow.
And then
From shakuhachi?
No, from taiko.
Oh, okay. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
You're tight. Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's not taiko. It's actually a lot has to do with my playing technique. It might just because I'm a bad player. So I just wanted to throw it out there. It's like, if you're thinking about doing taiko, you're like, I'm not going to do it because you're going to get like effed up like this. It most likely has to do with my playing technique.
You keep your forearms tight when you play or something?
I keep my forearm tight, and also so taiko, there's a philosophy, a thought where like you have to keep this completely straight. Like this is like extension, so it has to be
keep your forearm
almost not moving. So when you hit, it hits very true into the drum,
right,
and then gets a really nice sound, and then it has that. And another thing about taiko as compared to Western drumming, is that you're not supposed to let go of the whiplash. You're supposed to keep it in. So like when you hit, there's that, what do you call that?
Like a bounce
like
back.
Like a bounce back.
Yeah, right.
Instead of like lifting it, you're supposed to keep it in so that the drum has a really true sound. Again, this is one of the many different...
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So this is one of many different interpretation of taiko playing. You ask anybody, you ask 100 people, you can get 100 different interpretation of that. So, but that's just the school of thought I was raising. But either way, prepping for my show, I now have this terrible tendonitis.
Yeah.
But Anthony, on the other hand, I don't know. I felt so bad for him.
Oh, my hand?
Yeah. What happened?
What
happened?
I hit something.
Oh.
Yeah.
And doesn't it suck? Like something you have to cancel gigs and stuff like that?
Yeah. I had to cancel all my gigs.
I'm sorry, Anthony.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Anyway, so you're talking about prepping for your show.
Yes. Yes.
So you've been having these arm problems, but what was your show?
Oh, so I'm in a band called Red Eye to Tokyo.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Red Eye to Tokyo.
Red Eye to Tokyo.
If you're watching, there'll be hashtags all over the place.
All over the place, just jumping across over my face.
If you're just listening, look up Red Eye to Tokyo.
Yeah, Red Eye to Tokyo. The 2 is number 2.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Yeah, so hashtag RE2T, guys. Anyway, so We did this show together, actually. I had my first album release party in my whole damn career, as short as this.
It was awesome. So many people came.
Oh my
God. It was a huge success.
Holy moly. Like, holy shit. I can't believe, like, how many people were over there.
Yeah, you're popular.
I don't know. There's a whole thing about promotion that we can totally get into that I probably don't think we have time. But
okay.
But maybe we might get into it. But in short, the promotion was hard, man.
Okay.
It was really tough. So, I don't know about how many of you guys listen to this are like well-established people because, I don't know about you, Anthony, but I have a lot of like imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
I think everybody
thing.
has it.
Yeah, I think Gwyneth Paltrow has it.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm sure.
I think so.
So I always assume everybody kind of has it figured out about like how to promote themselves and how to get gigs, and then I just assume they all do. Like you listeners and your friends and Coldplay.
Yeah.
I don't know why that keep popping in my head these days. Has it really figured out? So I had to learn all these from scratch. So what's my point here? I had a show. And then I decided to do at a brewery because it's a venue that I thought would be kind of cool because I did not want to do it.
Casual.
Yeah, I did not want to do it at a concert hall.
Yeah, it's more fun. It's way more fun.
There's something about that. It's not litmus test. It's sort of like a graph. And imagine an XY graph.
Yeah.
The coolness of the venue and the quality of sound. You can only have. You only can.
It's like that thing. It's like cheap, fast, high quality.
High quality. Yeah. You only can have two, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want fast and then you want fast and quality, it won't be cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
So a cool venue, good sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I really love the vibe.
Yeah.
I think people go there for the vibe.
Yeah.
But the sound was very garagey. Like it's
Oh, you mean the sound of the space?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because like we set up our own sound system.
Yeah, we did.
It sounded fine. I thought it sounded good.
Yeah. Fine? I thought it sounded a little garagey.
Hmm.
Yeah, because
do you have a recording of it?
Just on my phone.
Oh, okay.
There's one track that we recorded it, which is Friends I Just Met. So look out for the video that's coming out in spring. The titular track on the album. I learned it. That's like.
What does that mean?
I think that's like 100 points on Scrabble. I hope.
Oh, okay.
Because the album title is Friends I Just Met, and the title track, Friends I Just Met.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So underwhelming.
No, it's great. Sorry, I'm doing a bad job here of being like, oh shit, yeah, look it up.
Yeah.
So it's on Spotify now.
It's
right?
on. Well, it will be on Spotify in January.
Oh, it's not there yet. Okay.
Right now,
you can order it. Though.
Exactly, you can order it. I'm currently still doing the GoFundMe phase, which is a whole other thing that's like very humbling and I still don't understand it. Like I did it and I made to 50% of my goal.
Nice.
But honestly, I still don't understand it.
What do you mean?
Okay, so kind of intersect, right? We'll go back to the show later. But like when you're doing GoFundMe, it's like you get you're in a band. Usually in a band, there's one or two people who are like really, really in it.
Yeah,
right?
that makes sense.
Who's like not just thinking of themselves as a sideman. Okay, I am not. Okay, disclaimer: I'm not shitting on rest of the band member. It's totally understandable. Most of the people are busy hardworking sideman in multiple projects. Right. So they need to they only have limited amount of ask from all their projects. If they start doing ask on all the project, it would be endless, especially the people I'm working with. They're all like super hardworking and popular people that are playing in Los Angeles. They're gigging, right?
Yeah.
So I totally understand. And they all have their own like very special project that they themselves really have to promote.
Yeah.
So I get it. So essentially it comes down to really myself to do most of the ask,
right? In
terms of the social media and the GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
So if any of you has done it, it's honestly it kind of sucks. Like it's hard. It's hard. Like you have like the close couple people who like totally understand.
Right.
Like they know what you're going through and they know how hard it is to make an album.
Yeah.
So there's your close friends and they're usually okay well off. Like they will have like 9 to 5 job or
Right. Yeah.
retire with pretty good income. So they would donate like a good amount, and thank you so much for those of you who did. They would donate a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
But and then you start reaching out, it grows into thinner like stratospheres.
Yep.
Yeah. So and then you start reaching out to your friends who are very supportive, but economically it's a little harder, right?
Of course. Yeah.
It just started reaching out thinner and thinner, and it's eventually like a pebble in the stream. The ripple stops.
Yep.
And then there's
Yeah, that's a good metaphor.
right.
It really works.
It really ripples and stops. Like
Yep.
towards the end, you get there's nothing wrong with them. I'm seeing with all the love in the world, but just the honest truth is that at the end you get a couple $15 and
Yep.
$20, and then you're very grateful for them. Thank you so much. But that's it.
Yeah, this is why you need fans. Fans more than friends.
Fans more than friends. I love my friends, and again, like you were saying, how many people were at the show?
Yeah.
I think 10 of them are like long-time friends. 15 of them are like close community, and they
Well, that's
add up to
good.
like
Yeah.
75% of show, and they're all really amazing, supportive family.
Yeah.
Between my husband and I, you know, they came and showed up the show, even though I'm sure the music isn't to other, you know, their own flavor. I don't know.
No, I think everybody would have loved it. I think it's really good music.
It's hard.
Everybody loved it, man.
It's hard
Yeah.
for me to kind of describe this music to the world. Like I'm currently writing. Oh my god, this jumped so quickly. But
Yeah.
either way, I'm currently writing the press release for it,
Yeah.
and it's so
You don't know how to
hard.
describe it?
I don't know quite know how to describe it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, how would you describe it?
So
So for anybody listening who doesn't know what it is,
what it is? So go check out the album.
Yeah.
You can buy one through GoFundMe.
but how are you going to pitch it? How are you going to get them to go?
So
Yeah. What
to
is it
kind
like? Is it
pitch
like
it-
death metal? Mostly?
it's mostly death metal, man.
Good, yeah.
But like a little bit bluegrass in there. Bluegrass death metal.
I think that exists.
But jingle. But it's also a jingle.
Okay.
Yeah. No, this is it's a word. The way I have been describing it to people, and then sort of like as an elevator pitch,
Yeah.
is that I call it as a adventurous 5-piece ensemble that plays borderless music.
Borderless music.
Yeah.
Ah, that's nice. I like that.
Because I used to pitch it as
Like,
I used to pitch it as a Japanese jazz fusion,
uh-huh.
and then nobody buys it.
Right. Borderless. I like borderless. What do you think of the designation like cross-cultural, things like that?
God, that's so heavy, man. It's like
It's
crossing
it's a
from
it's a little sterile or something.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
crossing from what to what, and then when I hear cross culture, the next thing out in my head is just like a terrible like East Asian sound synthesizer on
Oh,
top
really?
of like a nice pad, you know, like Kitaro. Do you know that Japanese composer? Check out Kitaro. He's like one like the forefather of like a Japanese fusion music that's like sort of new agey.
Okay, cool.
And
Maybe
just-
I'll put a link.
and a shit ton of synth pads. And then
Very cool.
I never fond of that kind of particular sound. Just honest truth. That's not the sound I've been very fond of.
But that's what you think of when you hear cross-cultural.
Yeah, and
I always think of something like they don't want to say world music because that's not fashionable anymore as a term or something like
world
that.
music is so heavy, man. Because
Yeah.
for the longest time, if you go to Borders Cafe, right? I don't think that really.
Oh,
exists
the
anymore.
bookstore?
The bookstore,
Oh, yeah.
right? So Borders book. If you go into world, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna get mostly like music from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
West Africa.
Right,
actually.
yeah, yeah,
West African music.
Yeah.
And there'll be occasionally a couple like tango music in
Yeah.
there, but they should be really in Latin.
Sure.
And even that's like somewhat, I think, misunderstood as a label. I don't know much about tango music.
Well, it's just
but
such broad labels. Yeah.
yeah, so you go into world music, you're not gonna find much East Asian music
Yeah.
at all. It's almost like non-existent, right?
But if you hear cross-cultural, I start to think Silk Road Ensemble and things like that.
so, do you think it's like Silk Road Ensemble?
I think that it isn't just like Silk Road Ensemble, but I think that there are obvious ties.
Yeah,
I mean, you're even playing some music from Shane Shanahan, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Shane Shanahan is the percussionist from Silk Road.
Yeah.
And then I did one piece, Hero, which he actually wrote for Ko, my teacher.
Ah, okay.
He wrote for Ko.
Kojiro Umasaki, right?
Yeah. Kojiro Umezaki.
Yeah.
We're looking at you, Ko.
Yeah.
Okay.
Link below.
He happens to be both of our mentor at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it has a lot of references to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to think it's like a hipper version.
Hipper? Yeah.
Hipper.
Well, you're younger.
We can't start that war, man. We can start this like geriatric music versus
you don't
youthful
subscribe
music.
to like don't trust anyone over 30?
Oh man. I just turned 30, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm on the cusp of becoming untrustworthy.
Yeah, I think you are untrustworthy.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I am.
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you, Anthony?
30. Yeah, I went over the edge.
Jump over the edge. In the gay world, we're considered like non-dateable. We're invisible now, actually.
Wait, really?
If we're in the gay world, yeah.
Oh.
This conversation just went.
Well, I had
totally
no
different way.
idea.
Yeah, like you become invisible once you turn 30. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it is. Either way. So like he was saying, a lot of this project was inspired by Silk Road because happened to be the project I grew up listening when I was in high school.
Yeah, right.
And then I talked about this extensively in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Two things I was paying tribute to was first to my taiko teacher who has passed 2 years ago from a very rare form of leukemia that you only can get from being scions and descendants of people who survived the Hiroshima A-bomb.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a very heavy thing. Like imagine like you never lived through it, but yet your DNA carry trauma, right? Yeah. They literally talk about like your DNA has been forever changed to carry a specific type of trauma. Mm-hmm. I mean, I find that super fascinating and very heavy and yet inspiring at the same time. It like makes me think a lot about what is lineage, what is life, and what is things that make you who you are. Yeah, like it's the resonance is just so much deeper sounding. And the other person I really want to pay tribute to is actually Kojo Umezaki, because he was my shakachi teacher, and then he happened to be one of my music heroes when I was growing up in high school, because I never know that music can be so fun.
Did you know him in high school?
No, but I saw a video of him playing.
Oh wow, okay.
It's the first video I ever saw him play, and I just saw like, holy smokes, like this guy could play. And holy smokes, like I didn't know chamber music can be that fun. Yeah. Right? So it was them playing at the Armory in New York.
Okay.
And they were doing
this is Silk Road?
Silk Road. Yeah. Yeah, and it was insane. Like they were all having like a lot of fun. They were all dancing while they're playing. Like I never thought you could play music like that. And then with the advent of YouTube and all that was coming out, so it was like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? Like why am I doing like Haydn? Like there's nothing wrong with Haydn, but like it doesn't bring the same sort of visceral joy that I want to get out of music. Yeah. So that's why I started studying taiko and eventually shakuhachi, because there's so much visceralness to it. Yeah. And then I always keep on nonstop moving while playing bassoon anyway. Like the critique I always get is like, you need to stop moving.
You do the circles?
I did the circles.
Yeah.
Need circles. Anyway.
That's good.
Not again, I'm not saying either tradition is bad, but for me personally, playing music is about able to move.
Yeah, I mean I think that there are unfortunate aspects of certain ways that classical music traditions are upheld today. Yeah. I don't think the music's bad. No. But like when you go to competition recitals and stuff, when you have all these 16-year-olds and they're working on these Mozart sonatas and Clementis, and it's just there's no fun in it. No. It's all this judging, can they do these specific things in this specific way, and it just seems like everything that music isn't.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
Like, why shouldn't a Mozart sonata be awesome? Why shouldn't it be fun and make you dance and tap your toes and make you happy or make you sad?
See, for me, that's the thing that that I think it's gonna be debated throughout the ages. It's just never gonna end because you and I have both very eclectic training, and I think most musicians we met in LA are kind of like that.
I think so.
They
Yeah.
have a hybrid of both classical music training and, let's throw the word, non-Western.
Oh yeah. Let's think about how many different ways we can say it.
We can say it, right? Like cross culture, non-Western.
Yeah.
So also a non-Western training, right?
Yeah.
So my feeling is it's interesting you said that because thinking back relating to prepping for the show, my husband was observing the fact that every single time I do a show like that, I go crazy. I run through the show almost the whole week.
Yeah.
From top to the end, almost twice a day.
Wow.
Actually, for this album release, I didn't do that much because there's so many different parts.
Sure.
So I decided this time where I just do sections. I picked the hardest section.
But I think your performance was really solid. I mean, it was clear that you'd worked really hard on it.
That's the thing, right? When you're the band leader, you, aside from parsing the time to do the promotion, video editing, t-shirt printing, album printing, and blah blah blah, all that stuff, which take up 85% of the time, and you came to realize like, holy shit, I need to find time for me to practice and really work on the music. So I make sure I carve out a lot of time to prep. Yeah. And also do it in more what a piecemeal practice section. But anyway, and my husband was like, you need to save some for the stage. And I told him like, no, you don't get it. Like for me, is that when I'm on the stage, I can forget myself, yet my body can just do it.
Right.
So I guess my whole argument is that like there is creativity and freedom from mechanical practice.
Oh, of course. Because if you don't have mechanical freedom, you're going to be stuck on stage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And it's so hard to make sure you do that, but as well as remembering what your ultimate goal is.
Right.
Right.
With the competitions, my problem isn't that they spend time working on mechanical mastery. My problem is I don't understand what the purpose of the competition is.
I don't know either. I honestly I don't know.
Like if you're working on scales for 3 years straight just to try and make your fingers be as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And then you get on stage and you can just blaze up and down and you're free. That's great.
Yeah.
But if you are, I don't know, I just don't understand what the purpose of trying to play a Mozart sonata better than anybody else plays it.
And is there really like a better Mozart
well, exactly,
sonata?
and right. what's the criteria for better? I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's any freedom or fun or life in the whole thing.
Exactly, and it
seems like a math test.
Exactly. I think what it's coming down to is like how it's being seen, right? Yeah. So there's this is like an age-old thing too about like the observer versus the participant.
Right.
Right. So the observer from the outside, which is wanting to have quantitative data, so they want to see points, because.
But I don't understand who wants to see that either. Like if you go to a concert, don't you want to hear the performer really engaging emotionally in the music, and then you'll feel it too.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's how...
I don't want to sit there and go like, oh, they got that note wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, they got that note wrong. That's not fun. Or like, ooh, I wouldn't have played that like that. I want to be in it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be outside of it judging it.
Yeah. For sure. So that's sort of like the what you call a tunative listening, right? But I am thinking about like amazing helicopter parents who like want to see how much money they put in and how much is coming out of it, and then they're given
I get it.
Yeah, a quantitative data, right? So, again, what's the goal? What's the meaning? Who's the audience? That whole terrible thing. But I used to teach, and then I totally understand it's not fun, and I used to feel kind of sad that my parents never put me through like a Yamaha piano program or anything like that.
Yeah.
I learned all that by myself. I picked it up
Yeah.
from my sister's book.
Right.
And she taught me a little bit.
So you wanted someone to crack the whip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as I get older, that became, I'm totally okay. I'm so happy they didn't.
Yeah.
Because I think I enjoy music so much more.
Yeah. I mean, there's things it does.
Like, I wish I had more fluidity on piano. I'm just
Yeah.
not. It's
Right.
not. It's never my main instrument. I compose on it,
Yeah.
but it's not my main instrument. I can't.
But like, I hear you getting better at shakuhachi,
Oh.
even over the time that we've played together. So like a year and a half. or
Well, you
something
know, I've
like
only
that.
been playing it for 5 years at most.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, but this is the thing is I hear improvement even in the time we've been playing together. So it's not like you need
Well, yeah, I think right. It's
the
passion.
harsh teacher.
Yeah, like if
You need the
enjoy
interest.
it.
You need to be searching, trying for something.
Yeah, and then also, and here's the thing where my Western classical music training really helped me, and it's like I learned how to set goals, and I know what I'm looking for, and then I create intention in my playing,
Yeah.
and then
That's hard.
Yeah, so like
It's really hard.
You know what you want to sound like,
Yeah.
and I can imagine who I'm embodying when I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one amazing thing that I sort of like the East West sort of like learning is that in again precaution. This is just the way I was taught, and this is what I have filtered through. I do not speak for the taiko community. When I play taiko, I imagine myself as my teacher, and then I don't just have one teacher. I have multiple teachers. So I imagine how they would do certain hit and what their solution to certain movement problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because each movement, each stroke, moving to the next, has its own set of rules.
Yeah.
And then for you to create different hits. And each of that comes from a certain set of training that each teacher has received. So I learn through them by watching them, working with them, playing with them. So I learned through embodiment.
Right.
And for me, that's one of the pinnacle of the non-Western training I got. Was this very senpai kohai known as like your teacher deshi, your teacher student relationship.
Right.
At that master apprentice. There you go.
Sure.
That master apprentice process, which is copying, right? So
Yep.
I was able to relate through embodiment, right? I don't know how much that's in Western music, but from taiko and shakuhachi, it's very pronounced for me.
Yeah.
Like that to me is like I'm very what do you call that? Actively seeking a mindset where I am in one with my understanding of what my teacher does.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when I play shakuhachi, sometimes like I imagine what Ko would do
Sure.
in certain sections, right?
Yeah.
And it's really helpful for me to navigate like how to do a certain phrasing and how to navigate how much to move during certain
Sure.
phrases.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Either way, so I think pedagogy wise, right?
Yeah.
I think both have such a helpful way of the developing idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about guitar. Like that's the thing. I don't almost know nothing about guitar. I know that classical guitar is super hard because you're doing multiple voices and then
Sure.
it's very skill building. And then there is also like you do a lot of Spanish guitar work. Is that even the proper term for it?
I mean, I don't know. There's like I play a lot of Spanish classical guitar pieces. I'm not a flamenco guitar player.
Okay.
I wish I was.
That's a whole other.
Yeah. I took a couple lessons in
Uh-huh.
Amsterdam once.
What? In Amsterdam?
It's a funny place. the conservatory there, they have an awesome flamenco teacher.
Dude,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, but it's really hard, and I don't know how to do it.
Do you have to get high before you take lessons with him in Amsterdam?
No. It's really weird. Like the cycles in flamenco are interesting because it's all based on 12 beat cycles, but you never start on one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. See, I now I'm gonna go back and listen and then have a more informed listening experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I really like listening, learning about different rhythmic cycles, like things like claves and different types of claves from different...
From different parts of Latin America,
Yeah.
because they all have different solutions on how to make clave interesting.
Exactly, and learning how to shift a clave.
Yeah. I heard that once being done live by one of the professors at UCI. So both of us have strong ties to UCI because we went to the program.
UC Irvine. University of California, Irvine.
Irvine campus. So if you guys follow this podcast, you know both of us went to this program called ICIT, and one of the professors that teaches over there is Dr. Bobby Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
He's an out of the world, like I think he's like one of the founding fathers of like Latin orchestra being done in Los Angeles, like the Los Angeles Flair.
Latin jazz.
Yeah. He's like the guy, right?
Yeah.
So many of tunes like he wrote is like played in radio regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're so famous, that East LA vibe and flair that he has. So he actually did a demonstration of like clave rhythm, and he taught the audience how to shift it in the middle, and it was insane because till this day I have no idea.
Oh really?
Because I'm not from that tradition.
Interesting.
I'm not a clave kind of guy. Yeah. Like taiko is very very even. At least the version I know are very even.
Right, but claves alternate on and off.
Yeah,
right.
and I thought it was like super cool.
Yeah.
So like he taught the audience how to clap the clave and shift it over.
Yeah.
And then they did it together. I was like,
great.
Man, that was like voodoo magic. Like it was.
It's one of my favorite things to do as a rhythm exercise.
Oh really?
Going through like a 1-bar clave, got, and then shifting it by a 16th note, got, and then shift it again, and do all 8 possible versions of it.
What? I think I need to take a lesson with Anthony Caulkins over here. Yeah. So that
anyway
has been something.
Sidetrack. Yeah. Okay. So back to the show. Yeah. So you had an album release.
At the album release.
Album release party, and your album is available to purchase. You can order it now, right?
You can order it currently through my GoFundMe page, which is GoFundMe / Red Eye to Tokyo, and you can get a copy of the album through your donation.
Nice. What else? Can you get a shirt?
You can get a shirt. You can get a wonderful sticker that we have made.
Stickers are cool.
on it. Stickers are super cool. You can put it on your Macintosh right
here.
Yeah,
cover up the stupid apple.
The apple, right?
Yeah.
And then we also have posters, signed posters as well. That's limited edition. That's designed by it looks more like this. It's designed by Christopher Bicknell, who's an amazing magical designer based in LA.
Is that Shannon's
husband?
Oh, okay.
That's
cool.
right. Yeah. He's the owner and CEO, operator of Absurd Digital Imagery.
Cool.
You can check out his work. He does a lot of work with like film festival and stuff like that. But sort of to talk a little bit about the music and what we played and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So those of you who have never heard the album before, you can actually there's a single out on Spotify right now. You can listen for free, and it's called Dodge the Dodo. It's a cover from one of my favorite band, Esbjorn Trio Project. Those of you who never heard of him before, have you heard of him before? EST Trio?
I don't think so.
So it's like a guy from...
I heard you play it.
Yeah, I heard you play it. So he's an amazing jazz pianist, but what he does is he brings in a lot of pop into jazz.
Okay.
And he does this really cool modal kind of jazz thing that I thought works really, really well on Japanese instruments.
Right.
And that's sort of like where the gateway is for me, and also my understanding of jazz is that there's this modal freedom that is so pre-Western classical music, which is what do you call it? That's not modal. It's when it's not modal, it
tonal?
Is tonal.
Diatonic,
yeah. Right. So diatonic is about the establishment of the predominance and the dominance, and then tonic. Right, so you do predominant, dominance, tonic, and you obfuscate it in how many ways you like.
Right.
This is the pinnacle of Western classical music. Like even.
Right, but modal's less triadic.
Yeah.
It's more gravitational.
Yeah, modal. It's about triadic. It always sounds a bit more ancient. Like that's the way I would like to put it to people who doesn't really understand music. Again, I feel like musicologists would totally attack me right now for what I'm saying.
Well, a lot of music, even a lot of modern music's modal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but so modal music to me it always has a more folksy, as
Sure.
well as more ancient sounding to me. It just always sounds a bit cool. It's really cool to me.
Yeah.
But so with
Cool
the,
for sure.
with the Japanese
Flat
flutes,
sevens and all
flat
that.
sevens and stuff like that. Yeah. So the Japanese instruments I have, they're all very diatonic. They're not chromatic. They're very hard to do chromatic music.
Right.
Like I can't do E and E flat very easily. They're gonna come out.
You have to bend it or
I
something?
have to bend the pitch because chagachi is a what do you call it? Pentatonic instrument essentially. So to find the coloring between the notes, they're all just shades.
Yeah.
Because of the limitation of instruments, I was listening and finding sources that are based around diatonic, that based around modal music. So a lot of my music that I've written in the album is modal, and it's so funny when you gravitate towards that and understand the mechanic of what your band could do.
Yeah.
Suddenly, all these worlds kind of open up.
Mm-hmm.
Like suddenly the album has Hindustani music influences, and then it has Okinawan influences from its island in southern Japan,
Right.
which has its own very distinct type of music. And I also have one piece, the titular piece of Friends I Just Met. It's essentially an Arabian jazz piece.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Cool.
there's also like there isn't really just one thing, so that's why it can't be called Japanese fusion because I don't.
It's not all Japanese.
It actually doesn't have a single Japanese folk song in the piece.
Right.
Except I quoted like a Japanese rhythm on the taiko, one of the piece I did.
Yeah.
And that's it. The rest of the album is actually coming from different parts of the world. And, all different kind of influences and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you have a Western keyboard, Western bass.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And a drum set.
Drum set. Yeah.
Yeah, drum set and taiko duo that we did like a drum set and taiko sort of like battle in between the band, which I thought that was one of the selling point of the concert actually.
It was a great concert. The whole thing was awesome. Get the CD.
Get the CD.
Yes.
Get the CD.
It's great. Yeah. So wait, hang on. So what are you calling it? How are you designating? You used a word. It wasn't cross cultural. It wasn't.
It's borderless music.
Borderless music. Okay.
Oh God.
Borderless. Cool.
I it's so weird. Again, like I just don't find it like it feels funny. Like
Borderless.
It feels very like I should wear like a funny mustache and then like super history. Like I play borderless music, man. On the side.
Well,
of my
don't say it
avocado
like
toast.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. Like.
Well, what about borderless and then something else?
Borderless. Hip hop. Yeah, with the Yamaha keyboard, ding 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 ding.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what this is too.
So you're also doing a podcast mini series.
Oh, that's
to promote
right.
it, right?
So, exciting announcement over here. Cue the music. Make sure you do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to be collaborating with Anthony Caulkins over here. We're going to be doing a companion podcast with a working title called Riding on the Red Eye to Tokyo.
Yeah.
Is it better called Flying on the Red Eye to Tokyo?
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll call it Flying on Red Eye to Tokyo.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a short podcast mini-series.
Yeah.
Each episode is going to be around like 20 minutes or so. And they're going to focus on one aspect of the album and on one of the tracks.
Yeah.
We're going to have guests. The album producer, Joe Mankey, is going to join us when one of the tracks.
Awesome.
As well as each member of the quintet. You can meet them all. Ryan Ross on bass, Peter Buck on drums, Danny Andres on keyboard, and as well as our favorite red hair shamisen swing badass Mike Penny is going to be joining us. Yeah, how was his shredding on that
was
shamisen?
amazing.
Have you ever heard anybody playing like a Japanese lute to do like seventh?
It was awesome.
Like he just drops the 5.
Also,
and,
his pick is crazy.
oh my god!
Yeah.
That if you guys never seen a tsugaru shamisen before, which is the Japanese banjo that he plays, it's this big, like almost like a paint scraper.
Yeah, his pick looks like a square paint scraper.
Yeah, it's like a square paint scraper. And then what they do is that they really dig into that instrument. So the skin head is a drum head.
Yeah.
So that when they play it, it has this very
Percussive.
sound. It's out of the world.
It's awesome.
And then his solo, holy shit. It was like
it was beautiful.
like it was like A1 sauce. It was crazy.
It's better than A1 sauce.
It's better than A1 sauce.
A1 sauce sucks.
Actually, I don't really quite like A1 sauce. I do like A1 sauce with my potatoes though.
I can say that. Yeah.
I don't like it on steak. I like it on
Okay.
potatoes for some reason.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I like peppercorn sauce on my steak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So I hope you guys can tune in to that because it'll be a really fun collaboration. It was my first time doing a podcast, so I know I'm gonna be learning a lot from Anthony because he's been doing this a long time.
It'll be easy. It'll be good.
It'll be really good.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys can tune into that and then listening with the track because I think you'll get sort of like understanding where the tracks came from because again, like everybody's like album, either way, it's going back to my roots.
Yeah.
It's a lot of my learning experience and the type of people I met. That's why the album's called Friends I Just Met because it's paying tribute to amazing artists that I was able to work with, either do the connection to Silk Road or do the Global Musician Workshop, which I attended many years ago, and work with a lot of amazing musicians, including Yo-Yo. It's just been an incredible journey to be able to become a musician. Yeah, and it's everything I kind of dream of. Sorry, I just sound totally like a Valley girl, but it's
fine. Go for it. Be a Valley girl.
It's everything I dream of. But it really. I don't know about you, but I do music because of people. Yeah. Because so long story short, I grew up in a storefront, and there's so many skills I was given because of that. One thing is being comfortable on stage. Sure. Second thing, being comfortable around strangers because there's always strangers coming. Right. My mom has this little tailoring shop, and that's our living room. And then our living room was like just covered with mountains of like large cloth, and then just like yards after yards. And she's like making customized like dresses for a woman with the latest fashion. She's like learning how to copy and steal and do all that stuff. And then that's what I came to learn. She instilled me this love of like not being afraid was around older folks and then even older aunties and stuff like that, and learning how to be gregarious, learning how to be learning how to connect with people, and reaching out to ask for a solution because these women, right, it's very magical. They will have like really serious problem like domestic abuses and everything. And then this is like, there isn't sort of like a hotline there. There probably was, but what they do is like these women come together and help each other out. They would go to gathering places like my mom's stores and stuff like that to talk out this problem. And then asking my mom for a solution. I mean, my mom, she's magical, but she definitely is not trained as a therapist. But right. Having someone to talk to, having this...
Yeah, it's important.
Right? Important. Having this sort of like social spaces between woman to woman. And I was able to observe that from the outside. And that, to me, is what music does, actively. Is to create spaces either mentally, either you're listening to your iPod, which you create your own mental space, and an interior, or do learning in particular music, which helps you to reshape your identity. So many part about it I was able to living and practice by doing this album release party.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So like really able to embody the sharing of music with amazing people, playing on stage with fantastic musicians, and sharing with my friends and family. Yeah. And hopefully new fans. Do that. So
I think, that sounds awesome. That's great, man. That sounds really good.
So aside from that, we don't have a lot of time, but I do want to touch one thing that
Yes.
both of us have been kind of worried about. There is a new rule that's coming out in California regarding putting musicians on payroll for.
Right. So not allowing musicians to be independent contractors, but having to be hired on as
employees.
Yeah.
As part-time employees. So
Right.
it'll be a W-9.
Yep.
So it's no longer going to be a 1099.
Yeah.
There's so many things still being developed by it. There's an amazing article that's been circulating online. If
Yep.
you guys haven't read it, make sure you just text one of your friend. I'm sure
I'll link it. Yeah, I'll have it in the description.
And it's really bothersome. I am quite worried about it.
Yeah, so I understand, at least to a point, the idea behind it, because as independent contractors, things can happen like you can hurt yourself on the job and you don't have any protections.
Yeah.
There's no overtime, there's no benefits, but at the same time, it is difficult enough to get work.
Yeah.
And so if it's a situation where people have to be hired as employees and they have to have, so therefore the employer will have to pay taxes on them, and there's then all these other regulations, I think the concern is that it will be that much harder for musicians to get work.
Exactly. And it really is very hard for musicians to, like, enough jobs for musicians to fill out. And one of the best thing about being an independent contractor is that you can sub in rather quickly, and that allows the money to diffuse rather quickly. Again, I'm not an economic major. I am not economist at all. But so for example, if I had to sub out, somebody needs to take my spot, because it's just a contracting job, it could come in right away.
Right.
There wouldn't be onboarding a whole new system and then making sure there's a payroll system in place, which costs a lot of money. A lot of these these contractor job, they don't have the funds to run and operate a payroll system. It costs money to run them.
Yep.
So I understand the spirit of the rule, but the problem is there's so many other sectors that are written out of this rule already, including a lot of Medicare, a lot of law offices. They still can keep having independent contractor. Right. However, who's written into it? Truck drivers. So owner operating truck drivers is going to be in trouble. There's currently a pending lawsuit that's going to set in place in January.
Yeah, what will this do with like Uber and DoorDash and things like that?
Yeah, that's where it came from, right? Originally, it's like to hammer down upon these what do you call them? They're called like market disturbance, like.
Disruption economy,
right? Yeah. So this is an aim at the disruption economy.
I think the problem is the types of people who are doing these kinds of work are the kinds of people who need readily available work.
Yes.
I don't know. It's this whole thing. Actually, I listened to a podcast recently where they were talking about an argument with servers, and this isn't true in California, because in California servers have to make minimum wage.
Yeah.
But in a lot of states, servers have a separate minimum wage that's like $2.50
way
an hour.
Lower.
But so like in New York, there's an argument where servers don't want to have to go to the national minimum wage.
Yeah.
Because then they'll end up making less. Because right now they're averaging closer to $15 to $20 an hour with tips. And companies don't want to have to pay them. So sort of at the moment, everybody's making more money.
Yeah.
But it is a system where fairness isn't enforced.
That's right.
And so it's possible to lose big.
It's also sort of like, come to think about it, the word that keep popping in my head is unintended consequence.
Right.
Right. So like the spirit of the law is it's in good, happy spirit.
Sure.
But however, the unintended consequence is that they never listen to the people who are actually in the market.
Right.
We don't actually want this law.
Right. It's this thing where, is it better for people to have better outcomes or for things to be perfectly fair?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. There is no exactly answer to that. However, the only thing I want to kind of leave out, at least I think
Yeah.
both of us are in agreement, is that we want people to be aware of this. Is
Yeah.
that next year there's a huge change coming into the music industry. Now, whether you decide to join a union or how you want to handle this change, is that you have to be informed. That's one thing about musicians. Like, we like to think ourselves as apolitical and able to just make it by, get by and just do our own thing, being left alone. We don't live in a bubble, unfortunately. You have to be very aware of what's going on. They keep saying that, LA is this new music, right? That article I sent you last night. It's like, these possibilities. Like, well, I don't know. I feel like this is a speed bump on that possibility, man. Like, it's not cool. I don't really understand where that's coming from.
Yeah.
So I want to invite you all to make sure you link.
I'll link the
article and then find out about yourself and understand what it's about, and talk to a lawyer or talk to your agent if you happen to have one, and then figure out if they will continue to do your payrolls and so on and such.
I would also recommend trying to read the article yourself. I think there's a big thing where news sources report on articles in weird ways.
Yes.
And I think if you can manage to work your way through an actual piece of legal literature, it's usually the best way to get an idea of what it actually says.
Exactly. And if you feel very strongly, like I do, I have written to our representative to talk to them about not having that happen. Just because as a Japanese traditional instrument musician, there's not really all that many jobs to begin with.
Right, exactly. So you need to be a contractor. You need to make your own jobs. You're your own business. You can't rely on being hired.
Exactly. And let's just be totally honest truth. Like, what this might do is that this might become a cash business if they decide to do it this way.
Right.
It's going to become a cash business. It's going to be an underwriting business.
Right.
So I think they're totally shooting themselves on the foot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very unfortunate. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Bureaucracy, man.
Bureaucracy, man. Bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Bureaucracy.
Cool.
Well, to end on a happy note, I want to invite you to wish Anthony on a quick recovery on his hand.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope he get to play again and share it so that we can play more duets together. And then I want to invite you all in the New Year's 2020. Oh my God, it's been 10 years after 2010, right? To listen to our new podcast series on flying on the red eye to Tokyo.
Yep. We'll make sure to promote it once it's out. And and I'll promote all your CD and merch and everything.
Working title. Yeah. But before we completely sign out, what are you working on currently, Anthony?
PhD applications.
And that's so, folks. There's a whole other conversation about that I don't want to get into.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, cool. Well, thanks for listening.
Thank you very much for listening.
Shih-Wei Carrasco-Wu.
Shih-Wei Carrasco-Wu. Red Eye to Tokyo.
Yeah, check it out.
Check us out. In January, it'll be available on all streaming platform, and hopefully Spotify will pick it up and put it on one of its infamous playlist.
Oh yeah. All right, cool. Okay. Thanks everybody.
Bye.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Remember to hit that like button, leave a comment if you have any thoughts, and subscribe to my various channels linked below. Remember to check out Red Eye to Tokyo. You can order their album, you can order t-shirts, you can order stickers through their GoFundMe. And if you like my content generally, please consider visiting my Patreon page. All right, see you next time.